Hello everyone, today I'll be doing a solo Master Nightfall run with Leviathan's Breath with Titan. For my subclass, I'll be using the Thunder Crash Middle Tree. For my kinetic, I'll be using the Long Shadow Sniper. Next, I'll be using the Scout Rifle Internal Blazon with Disruption Break with the famous Leviathan's Breath with Catalyst. Highly recommend. For my helmet, I'll be using Sniper Ammo Finder, Bow Ammo Finder, Protective Light. Gauntlets, I'll be using Bow Reloader, Anti-Barrier Scout Rifle, 10 Recovery with Shield Break Charge. For the exotic, I'll be using the Crest of Alpha with 10 Resistance, Arc Damage Resistance, Taken Charge with both reserves. For the legs, I'll be using Double Bow Scavenger with 10 Resistance. Next, I'll be using Sundering Blast with Bomber and 10 Resilience. So, for this week, Togetherness, where you are forced to wear an exotic to regain your health. Now, just to let everyone know, this video was a little messy. I was doing some experimenting, so yes. I was just looking around other safe spots to deal with the couple of ads, but that spot's not really good. And there are a couple of Fallens, which is RNG, that they do appear and then they don't appear. So, as you guys know, a couple seasons ago, you were able to take advantage of blueberries, where they just clear all the ads for you. And you just let them do all the dirty work for you, and then you could just make it to the next section. You know, a couple 30 seconds, and then there you go. Well, not for this season. So this season you actually do have to clear down all the ads, all the cabals, everything by yourself. So there's no blueberries to do all your dirty work, which it's kind of sad because I really did enjoy clearing down a couple of ads and then just watching the blueberries, you know, take them down for me, especially in Grandmaster where it one-shots you, but for them it doesn't. So of course now you have to take time, waste maybe 3 minutes of your life to clear them down by yourself, especially if you're using a loadout like this one. It could take a while. Let's not forget Togetherness, so that's another. So now I'm going to be sparrowing, and for some reason there's an icon blinking. And let's talk about the Leviathan's Breath. So I decided to use Leviathan's Breath, and it actually works really well with Sundering Blast. So remember a couple seasons ago I did talk about you have to use 2 shots to deal with unstoppable champions because 1 shot does crappy damage, and then you do the actual DPS with the second Leviathan bow. Well, with Sundering Blast, when you do the shot to stagger the unstoppable champions, the Sundering Blast starts to activate, and you do 20% and actually more damage, more than 20% to deal with unstoppable champions with the Leviathan's Breath. So you can take down the unstoppable champions by just using Leviathan's Breath. It's much more quicker. Another thing I'd like to mention is I highly recommend to have Bow Loader. That way you can reload your bow much more faster, and the bow we're using is to deal with unstoppable champions. Now the bad thing about using this bow is the ammo is limited, which is highly recommend to get the catalyst for Leviathan's Breath because you can only get 15, that's it. Now you did saw me use bow reserves for the chest play for the Titan, and it didn't work. So I wasted using bow reserves for Leviathan's Breath, which is, it's baffling. a little upset about it, to be honest, because I thought maybe I can get 18 or maybe 17 on Leviathan's breath ammo. But unfortunately, Bungie says, nah, it's too powerful, Blitz. Can't have more than 15. So I had to deal with just 15. Another thing I would recommend is have Concussive Dampener, or if you want to use a solar chest plate to deal with the snipers, you can. Especially for GM, it is a debate if you want to be safe dealing with the unstoppable, well, barrier champions when they do sniping from far away. Now, in this video is kind of weird because not only I was experimenting, this run was a little messy, I'll be honest. But 2 unstoppable champions was on top, and it never happened to me last month. Now last month I did the bashy weapons, you know, for giggles, you know, just to challenge myself, etc, etc, you know, using really bad weapons. And I fully remember that there weren't 2 unstoppable champions on the top platform. There was 1 unstoppable at the bottom with the barrier, and then 1 unstoppable, you know, messing around, trolling everyone around. It's a bit weird, like you can see from the left side. This unstoppable champion is bothering the barrier, which is not supposed to happen, but for some reason this footage, it happens. I haven't really spent way too much time today for this Nightfall. I mean, today is Wednesday, so I only did like 2 runs, and then I was just, you know, experimenting, etc, etc. So it's just a bit weird that this unstoppable champion is hanging around with the barrier champions, which is supposed to be at the bottom. I will confirm my description and let you guys know if this is normal or not, because I have to go back again and see what's going on. Like, why is this unstoppable champion the second one on top? Or I'm having a bug issue. You know, little RNGs of dealing with champions. So as you guys know here, I did took down the solar barrier, because the solar barrier, right, as you saw earlier, he can shoot you from this platform, and you must be careful with the minotaurs. So you can see Leviathan's breath is so powerful with Sundering Blast. It's unbelievable. Now, would I recommend for this for solo GM? No. Why? Because the ammo is just too low for a solo GM when using Leviathan's breath. So I wouldn't recommend it unless it was more than 15. Then yes, but you know, it is a possibility that you can, but it's just the 3rd phase could be pretty dangerous unless you're using a strong DPS. Now you can see here there was supposed to be an unstoppable champion here, if you guys remember last month for the bashy weapons video. And like I said, he went on top of the platform. It's just so baffling. So like I said, I'm gonna go back to Nightfall and just make sure, and I'm gonna write in my description and let you guys know if this is supposed to be normal or this is like a mini bug footage. As always, you know, bugs always happen to me, because I swear to the speaker, I swear to the traveler, the unstoppable champion is supposed to be the bottom with the 2 barriers at the bottom. It's not supposed to be at the top, bothering the barrier champions. 'Cause I remember this Nightfall, you know, in my heart, so it was just a bit awkward. And I also wanted to upload this video, so, you know, it's a little messy, you know, experimenting, and maybe it can happen to you. So if little things like that happen to you, you'll see example of what you'll need to do and how to deal with this little bug. Now I am using a sniper, and you can use the grenade launcher. I was using a grenade launcher in this video, but it wasn't working out because I was using blind nades, and when any ads are shooting in the air, your blind nades explode mid-air, and it makes you waste ammo, makes you waste time. Now here, I wanted to get more ammo for my sniper, but it didn't work out. So I'm gonna do a mini time skip on this because I wasted a lot of time here. Alright guys, sorry about that. Like I said, this is like experimenting run with Leviathan, and I was trying to see if I can get some sniper, but it didn't work out and I wasted a lot of time. Now this part is RNG of where we're gonna deal with the barrier champions. So there are 2 barrier champions and 1 unstoppable. It's always best to take down 2 of the barrier champions first, then dealt with the unstoppable. Now I had pretty good RNG in here where both of the barrier champions are not shooting me at the same time. It's just 1, which is very, very nice. Just always be cautious with the second barrier champion, and if the barrier champion is distracted from the unstoppable champion, then good. That's what you want him to do. So now we can deal with the second barrier champion. And I'm trying to do critical hits with the sniper, and it is very annoying to do, especially when the critical shots or critical hits in the middle of the champion. Now I'm going to be using my super and take him down, pop a barricade, and then use Leviathan's Breath. So now later on, I'm going to go to the next phase. We're dealing with the arc captains. Now the arc captains did take me a while because I didn't want to waste using Leviathan's Breath, since we do need them for the unstoppable champions, you know, etc, etc. And there is 1 barrier champion in the middle that you can do DPS from far away. That's another reason why I decided to use a sniper instead of a grenade launcher, is because 1, I don't want to waste too much ammo using Leviathan's Breath since it's like 15. 2, you need to make sure you can use the grenade launcher really good, unless it's mountaintop, but you know, mountaintop you can't use anymore, you know, etc, etc. And when using a sniper, especially from long distance, especially with this barrier champion, it just makes life easier, and you can just stagger him and then just do headshots. And that way you don't have to waste all your heavy with champions, with barrier champions, you know, because you need barrier champions to deal with the... You need ammo, you need to save your Leviathan's Breath for the unstoppable champions for their Void Shear Cabals. Now, another thing I'd like to mention is here I was just doing a little mini experimenting because I was wearing Warmind's degree. And I was trying to see if I can make a Warmind cell, and guess what? Leviathan's Breath doesn't really make Warmind cells with Warmind's degree, which is unfortunate. And I thought if I use Leviathan's Breath, you know, just like using Warmind weapons, you can make a Warmind cell when killing the mini bosses, and it didn't work. So that I would say that was unfortunate, and it's a waste of mods, which is why you saw my loadout that I didn't really have a lot of mods, because I removed some of the mods that didn't work out, which it wasn't really useful for this video. Especially when trying to use Warmind's degree, it didn't work out well. Now, this part can be a bit annoying because we have this Arc Cabal, which he just loves to move around. And, Jesus. My gosh, this guy dodges crazy. I mean, if you guys thought the hive, remember those hives? Those acolytes where they just keep dodging left and right. Well, this guy dodges everywhere, just like these acolytes that we saw before from other Pacific Nightfalls. Let's just give a hint of Scarlet Keep, Sapphithin Song. And it could be a bit annoying, so. Now you see there are a couple cabals here, just throw my nade. And we can deal with the Arc Cabal. Now, the one mistake I should have done is just use my Leviathan's Breath, but I was just trying to save ammo because there is unstoppable champion. later on. Well, actually two. One at top and one at the bottom, which I wanted to save my ammo for. Now here, this took me a while. And this is why when using Anarchy, it's just easier. When using Anarchy, especially at this part, it just makes life easier. And if you don't use Anarchy, then this could take a while, depending what loadout you have. Like, I was trying to see if I can snipe him, you know, do critical headshots, and wasn't working out. You know, he keeps moving, you know, console aim assist if there are a couple ads nearby, you know, etc, etc. So I thought maybe I should just use my sky rifle. So my idea was using breaking the shield. Since we have disruption break, we can do more damage with the sniper. But this boss was moving around and I decided to just use my heavy sooner or later. And by the time I had my super, but I was going to save for my super for the Unstoppable Champion up high. So now I was just looking for ammo and it was getting a little frustrating, because I didn't want to use my heavy. And then later on, I realized that I do have some ammo for my Leviathan, and I was debating, should I use it, save it? Such a hard decision, you know, but this Cabal was taking way too long, and I just had to sacrifice one ammo, a Leviathan's Breath. Now, this is the part I really can go. It can go pretty good, or it's going to destroy you. So you must be careful with Unstoppable Champion, especially when going around here. So now what I'm doing here is I'm going to use my super, pop a barricade, and then use my finisher. So yeah, this is amazing. But I'll be honest with you guys, if it wasn't Togetherness, I would use the chest plate for the Titan to make the super much more stronger. But I can't because, you know, Togetherness, you have to wear an exotic to heal yourself. Now, there are two ways to approach this, so I did a different way. I know in my last video, last month, I don't think I did this way. I went down to the bottom, went behind a little safe spot to deal with the barrier champion. So, sometimes this barrier champion will move in the middle and you can do DPS, but you have to be very careful because he loves to shoot a lot of arc. And boy, his arc attack melts pretty bad. Now I'm wearing arc resistance 1 and it's still melting me really bad. So now I'm going to stagger the champion, and because I have disruption break, I can do massive damage with the kinetic weapon. So, well, a couple of seconds, you know, basically almost like high energy fire, but for just 3 seconds. So now here I almost died. You know, my Titan bounced off the edge. Silly me. So yeah, you know, little funny things can happen in your runs. And Jesus Christ, so this guy scared me, so I just snipe him. Body snipe him, which is not a good idea. But it worked out, yeah, I would say very decently. So I was on red health, so I was running around little circles, almost circles, because I was hearing there was someone behind me and I had to go back to the safe spot. And there is an ad that it can destroy you, and let me just say that this ad over here, he can one-shot you in Grandmaster, so you have to be very careful with him. But then again, I haven't tested out that melee damage resistance yet. I remember it does work with those couple of ads there. So now I'm gonna do a mini time skip because I'm gonna wait for my super. I don't want to risk this phase because there's gonna be an unstoppable champion that is going to spawn, and you have to kill him right away. And we know how Leviathan's breath is. Even with bow loader, it can be pretty slow. If you don't have your super, then you must take down the unstoppable champion really fast and swipe to your sniper to do critical headshots or the backpack shot. So I'm gonna do a mini time skip right now. Alright guys, so I got my super and we're going to stagger the unstoppable champion 2 times, unfortunately. There has always been a bug with this unstoppable champion and Bungie never seems to fix it, so it's been like this for years. So I'm gonna be using my super, use my finisher, get the hell out of there. I'm going to stand in this spot and wait until it goes 100%. So you can see there that if you do critical headshots with the Leviathan's breath, it'll do more damage, but if you don't, even with Sundering Blast, it doesn't do too much damage. So when using Leviathan's breath, always try to hit the backpack. Must do a critical headshot towards the unstoppable champion so you can do as much DPS damage as you can. Now, right now it's 90%. And just be aware of these cabals where they can shoot, throw grenades, there's dogs. So once it's 100%, run as fast as you can and get the hell out of there because we don't want to deal with them and you don't want to mess up your run, especially at this part. There's gonna be one unstoppable champion and a couple of cabals that have void shields and 3 snipers from the far upper right side. Now in this footage, usually the unstoppable champion is supposed to push towards you and you see him right away, but over here he's just hiding away, and it's just a bit unlucky here where usually the unstoppable champion will push towards you and you can just kill him right away, but here he was just sneaking, hiding behind a wall, right? So you can see here, I saw him, I saw the unstoppable champion. So I finally did find the unstoppable champion. It was just so bizarre. You saw there it just slide forward to the left side really fast. So that was kind of awkward, to be honest. So always be careful, especially when using Leviathan's breath. And you can see that when you do stagger the unstoppable champion, especially on the backpack, highly recommend, you can do pretty decent amount of damage. Like I said, when using Leviathan's breath, the ammo is very low, and even if you put double bow reserves, it doesn't work for some awkward, unfair reason. So now there is another unstoppable champion, and you can use Leviathan's breath to take him down, and you can see my ammo was getting a little bit low. And you can see that you can do at least about 15% damage with one bow, and then you can use your next bow as well. But because I was low on ammo, I had to use my sniper. Once I do regain my health, I'm going to ignore this Void Cabal since now he's going to be very harmless. Don't you guys love the crest of the Alpha Exotic Titan? I think it's better than Warm Husk, because Warm Husk I can never get health. It's like, okay Blitz, that's all the health you need. And then the crest of Alpha is like, nah Blitz, I'm gonna give you all the health. Doesn't matter. Now we're gonna be dealing with this very annoying barrier champion. And let me just say, this champion is so frustrating. because there are scions where they throw void fire and it's a possibility that they can one-shot you in Grandmaster. Well, actually they can. And for Master, they're gonna push you up in the air and you're gonna be going to your death. You have to be careful and you must take him down quickly. And it's a bit annoying because, you know, Togetherness, if you're low on health, you have to pop the barricade for your Titan. I was trying to see if I can find a good angle to deal with this barrier champion. But if you cannot take him down very quickly, then clear down all the ads first and then deal with the barrier champion. Because, like I said, these scions are going to throw fire at you in the ground and they're going to make you jump and fly in the air, which you don't want that to happen, especially at this area where these chains can one-shot you. And it's not going to be fun at all. Now I am just trying to deal with a couple ads that are far distance and deal with 2 barrier champions. Now let me just say that there are 2 methods to go with this route. You can do DPS at the barrier champion from far distance if you do have long range weapons. The only bad thing about this is this chain on the left side can block your DPS with the barrier champion. So I'm just showing you an example of what you can do to deal with one barrier champion. You can also go forward to deal with the second barrier champion, but be cautious of the chains, and also the second sniper could snipe you from far distance as well. So now I'm just trying to kill this barrier champion and I'm going to go jump to the other platform. Now here's an example. If it doesn't work out, you can see dealing with the last barrier champion can be a bit annoying. So if it doesn't work out, as you can see it didn't work out for me, especially with my loadout, I just decided to go this direction, this method. And this method can be dangerous, but since we killed the first champion, it's not going to be too frustrating at all with this one barrier champion we had to deal with. And it's always nice to just deal with one barrier champion, not 2 of them, because 2 of them in this spot can be pretty nerve-wracking because you have to take them down very quickly, and sometimes the second barrier champion can block your way when doing DPS, or the dogs can be messing up your DPS mode when trying to take one of them down. It's just a lot of scenarios, but for me, I would prefer just to take one down first and then deal with the second one close by. Now, here I was just scouting because my ammo wasn't full for the Leviathan's breath, but it was okay. Alright, so you're probably wondering why I'm not sparrowing. It's because I was thinking of what to deal with the boss, with the thunder crash, weapons, and how to deal with it, especially at the 3rd phase, which is going to be a little risky. Now I was just shooting a couple of harpies and of course getting some protective light, since we have charge of light ×2. We're using Togetherness, so drifting apart as well, which is reminding me it's Togetherness Blitz, remember? Gotta heal yourself. Now we're gonna be dealing with the boss, and I'll be using Thunder Crash and switching to Leviathan's Breath if there's still not enough health, not enough DPS for him to teleport. And it worked. So I managed to make the boss teleport, which is a good sign. And we're going to be dealing with the 2nd phase. Now the 2nd phase is probably the most dangerous, second most dangerous, and it is always best to melt the boss down very quickly. So now I'm just trying to reposition, trying to find a good angle to deal with this boss. And I found a pretty good spot, so you can see here that I'm gonna do critical headshots, and it's like around 42k DPS damage at the boss. So Leviathan spread does a decent amount of damage, not really bad to be honest. It's very nice damage. So you could just crouch, do critical headshots. Of course, as usual, I'm always reckless when dealing with the boss. And now we're going to be at the third phase. And there's going to be a lot of adds, goblins, especially depending how much DPS you do at the boss. Now, just to let everyone know, the boss movement, the animation is still the same as last month. This boss does like to walk around and stay in spots depending how much DPS you have done. Now I decided to stand here since the area that I usually go from the left side is not too safe, so I was just trying to make this boss to move from the far right side so I can reposition to the other safe zone. This boss likes to shoot arc charges at you. You can actually jump over them, but for me, I didn't do that at all. I decided to just go with, just to be very cautious, snipe him, and then make him move. And like I said, depending how much damage you do, then there'll be a couple of goblins pushing towards you, which is highly recommended to take them down as quickly as possible, especially when they are walking towards you, as you saw there. And I pop a barricade from the left side, since this boss likes to spam a lot of arc charges towards me. Another thing I like to mention, which didn't happen to me in this video, I don't think it did, is when it does shoot you, when it does hit you with the arc charges, you can get blind for momentarily. And that can be extremely dangerous, especially when you are not knowing where you are and there are a couple of adds shooting you. It could lead to a death, especially if you're not going behind cover, you're going the wrong way, you're blind for a couple of seconds, and it's not going to be fun. You can see I was crying because our charge almost hit me, but my barricade saved me, so I was happy about that. I was like, wow, amazing. My Titan barricade saved me. Now, I was being reckless here. Do not do what I do. I was desperate for heavy ammo, so I wanted to get some ammo and then just go back. So just be very careful. You can pop a barricade there if you do see ammo around the area you saw there. And this boss likes to move, so when you do try to get ammo from the left side, he's going to move and shoot and then move back to his little cozy spot to shoot and spam arc at you. Now I was gonna do sniper shots, and make him move. Depending how much DPS you do, especially at this phase, he's going to move from the right side. He's going to go across of the platform floor, and you will see very soon he's going to keep shooting and then move from the right side. So now I'm just using my sniper, trying to make him move around, and when he does start to move, that's when adds will spawn, harpies, goblins, and that's when you need to take them down as quickly as possible. Now, I was just debating to clear down all the adds, including the ones in the arc pole, but I didn't want to waste time, and it didn't seem very much of a threat, so I just decided later on to just do DPS at the boss, make him move, and you can see he's moving from the right side. And this is the part where you have to be super careful with the adds, because not only adds are pushing you, of course, with arc shields, etc. You need to be aware of the arc charges that the boss is shooting you. You will hear a noise, and you will have to be very cautious and dodge his attack. And like I said, his attack can blind you, and possibility can one-shot you too, especially if you're a Grandmaster. Unless you have arc damage resistance, but you know, I guess I'll talk about that next time. Because if I talk about it, then I won't really talk too much of the boss fight, etc, etc. So, as you can see here, this boss likes to stand in that little spot. So be very careful. And now I'm just trying to be a distance. I don't want to hug the wall too much because the splash damage can damage me, and of course I can get blind, which is not going to be fun. So you can see I'm just waiting, shooting, and then I hear a animation noise, and then I back away. So you can see I hear a noise, and then I stop. Then I resume my DPS. Now you can see here, this is another area. The one I jumped before, not this spot. This spot isn't really too safe. I would say over here is where you can dealt with the ads. But be very careful because the boss can move. And you can see I did manipulate the boss. And I made him move more to the right side. Well, to the left side. So I can just go and just get rid of these ads that are in the arc pull. And he is just behind this wall, or even if he does this arc charge attack, it's not going to hurt me, and I'm safe until the end of the final phase. So here is another method you can do. You can manipulate the boss as you saw there. Make him move all the way from the left side. And then once you do, you can go back here, especially on Hunter. You could just, you know, bait him, turn invisible, go to the right side, and then he'll just stand here. And then you can just do as much DPS as you can. And of course you need to be very cautious because that's when he will go berserk, as we've seen in Cyber. And you can use your Thunder Crash. And then you can just finish him off. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If I was using the, you know, the exotic chest plate for the Titan to make the Thunder Crash much more stronger with the overshield, then this run will be much more faster and it will make life easier dealing with the boss. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.